caught the defensive backs of Harriman asleep. Made them pay.
Caught me asleep a little bit. Cal will come in. Sierra Cal to attempt the extra point. Snap, set, kick on the way, and it's off the crossbar. No good. So your score is Midway 33, Harriman 6 with 4:19 left to play in the game.
(1952).
That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores, and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies' boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Back to your OAB Law Game of the Week. Midway punches one in and takes 4 minutes and 41 seconds off the clock to do it. And so now time is running down, and they ran the ball every single play 6 times for 72 yards as we get set for the Davis Funeral Home kickoff. Here is Sierra Cal's kick. It's a high, wobbly kick, and it is taken at the 25-yard line by Harriman's Grayson Kreis. Kreis has some running room up the field and finally taken down just across the 35-yard line. And this Davis Funeral Home, of course, sponsor of our kickoffs with 2 locations to serve you. 715 Morgan Avenue in Harriman and 211 Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Their support in your time of need does not end after the funeral service.
You're not going to find a more professional bunch than the Davis Funeral Home. So if you're in that need, please give them a call.
Davis family
would be impressed at hearing 410 total yards offense for the Midway Green Wave, 177 rushing, and 233 passing.
And here's Nasir Stokes, and Stokes can't find any running room. He was run out of bounds after a short loss.
And Nasir Stokes is most of the Harriman rushing, the 149 yards, average of 8.3 yards per carry with 1 touchdown. That's amazing. 20 and 233 passing. Just a few completions, 41 total yards passing.
Loss of 2 on the play will bring up 2nd and 12. Clock still running, 3.5 minutes left to go in the game. Pelfrey takes the snap, looks. Quick pass is incomplete. Tries to find Frazier. Frazier can't hold on to it. Harriman still has Greenback and Oakdale coming up on the schedule. 2 really big games to figure out what the playoff picture is going to look like here. Midway also has Greenback still yet to play.
Harriman has 2 potential wins left on that schedule. Greenback just coming off a big loss at Cofield. Who knows what you're going to get out of that bunch?
Yeah.
And Oakdale, limited roster. Who knows what you're going to get out of that squad? So yep. Harriman is in a good position to finish this season strong.
Handoff goes to Stokes. Stokes.
Wow. What a play by number 51, Seth Brackett of the Midway Green Wave. Broke through the line of scrimmage, broke his feet down, made a very good secure tackle on a very good, talented Harriman running back.
And here is that last touchdown play.
So the fake, everybody bid on it too, including us.
Yeah, I did. Hagelin got me. He got Harriman too. I don't feel bad. Pelfrey in punt formation. Got a high end over ender, and again, Midway's not going to send anybody back. And that ball will roll dead at the 35-yard line, and that's where Midway will take over. Green Wave getting closer and closer, putting this one in the win column. Just 2:24 left to go in the game. This is one of those two. You pick up a couple first downs, and then that's it.
That's it.
You run the clock out.
You don't want anybody to come up and, pull something, get any kind of injuries this late in the ball game. So you want to be very conservative. I would just line up and what you did the last drive and just run the football.
Yeah, and you're getting some new players in the game as Brennan Reed takes over at quarterback.
Harriman switches out their personnel as well.
Cyrus True checks in at running back. And True gets the carry up the middle. Crosses the 40 down to about the 41. And True, a senior on senior night.
Gets an opportunity to run the football here.
Yeah.
See on the Chuck Fleischman replay.
And, True's been playing in this game. You can tell by how muddy he is.
But he hasn't had an opportunity to play running back, and that's a good opportunity for him.
True picks up 6, brings up 2nd and 4.
Harriman with some younger players in. That's always good. Build your depth for the future, and I believe that this Harriman football team is going to be very good in the future.
Well, Brennan Reed is a freshman playing that quarterback position. Cyrus True is a senior, as we said. And lining up at fullback is Peyton Steele, another freshman on this Midway team.
We're looking at the future of the Midway Green Wave.
Yeah. Because Hegland is a senior. So next season he's gone. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to see Reed lining up behind center.
And it's that's a lot of talent to lose for the Midway Green Wave. Around 11 seniors, I believe, on a roster of about 24. So you do the math. There's not going to be a lot left next year. But if I know anything, Midway will know how to rebuild in a hurry.
Yeah.
They need to go search the hayfields and get some of these kids out playing football next year.
And this is Riley Pryor gets the carry here, and he stops short. And Pryor is a sophomore. Hey, you talk about the seniors on this Midway team. It's not just that they're losing seniors. It is who they're losing. Emmett Hegland, Ty Mason, Caleb Goodman, Seth Gordon, Austin Cathers.
Yeah,
all seniors on this team.
All-state players, some of those guys have led the stats in receiving and various other categories in East Tennessee, so.
And Seth Brackett too. That's someone that we need to also mention. And so that's it. This ball game comes to a close. Midway defends the home turf on senior night. They defeat Harriman 33-6 to get an all-important region win, still vying for a home playoff game. And that'll depend on what Midway does the rest of the season.
Big high school football game that we've seen here tonight between two bitter rivals. Kids that's played their entire lives against each other, and awesome experience, great football game. Can't wait to see this bunch play each other next year.
So Harriman moves to 4-4 on the year.
Want to do a quick shout out to the Kingston Yellow Jackets golf team who won the state championship, which is a heck of a testimony. One of the hardest sports to win a state championship is golf, so that's really impressive.
You know what? I want to send some condolences to the Wartburg community. Longtime coach from Wartburg, Ronnie Trout, recently passed away. Prayers, thoughts going out to the entire Trout family. Ronnie was involved in that football program for years and years and years.
He was, and he had a precious wife, Miss Della Trout, who was kept Ronnie going for many, many, many years, and she was a longtime correctional officer for the Morgan County Sheriff's Department. Outstanding leader, Miss Della Trout was, and so prayers are sent to her and her family.
So, do we have some stats? Yeah. Run over some of these stats really quick.
So for Hegland, passing-wise, he was 13 of 28, 50%, which isn't that good, but he did enough. 233 yards, 17.9 average per pass play. His long was 40 yards, if we remember that. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He only had 1 sack on the day, had a quarterback rating of 120. Rushing was led by Mason, obviously, at 16 for 128 with an average of 8 yards per carry. His long was at 28-yarder, had 1 touchdown, also picked up 6 yards receiving. They had total 233 rushing yards. They were led on defense by, looked like Goodman was all over the field for them tonight. Let's see, for Harriman offensively, we have Pelfrey was 8 of 27 for 30% for a total of 41 yards. His long was 15 yards. He had 2 interceptions. Rushing, we had, of course, Stokes. He had 14 attempts, 134 yards. Listen to this, an average of 9.6 yards per carry. A long was 95. Just outstanding job rushing for the Harriman Blue Devils. Individual talent there was insane.
Yeah, and I think one of your keys to the game, I believe, was Harriman needed to get their passing game going. And they weren't able to do that. Nick Pelfrey, starting quarterback for Harriman, 8 for 27 for just 41 yards and 2 interceptions. So not a good night through the air for Harriman. And that's really probably the difference in this game.
It is. It's been a very slow year offensively for the Harriman Blue Devils, but I tell you, the talent is there. When they get things figured out, it's going to be a special program that they have there at Harriman. And I remember Harriman being the powerhouse in the area back when they were double and triple A and beating everybody. So they're not too far removed from that, and I can't wait to see how Harriman develops, especially moving forward towards the next year.
So Midway puts up 419 yards tonight. So strong performance out of that Midway offense. Want to let you know about next week at Kingston is Signal Mountain, and that is where your game will be next week.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
Kingston is loaded. Signal Mountain always is tough and always is loaded to the gills in talent.
Yeah.
So I think we're in for a big game next week in Kingston.
And Kingston had the week off this week, so they'll be fresh going into that game. And also want to invite you to stay tuned to the Friday night scoreboard brought to you by the Free Medical Clinic with David Queener and Jonathan Cox. And, of course, that's a call-in show. So call in. Tell us where you were tonight, and they'll have the rundown of all the scores for you. And they're going to talk about that Tennessee-South Carolina game that's going to take place tomorrow at noon.
Big game. Tennessee coming out in the dark mode. Be a big Saturday noon kickoff.
Yeah, they were like 10-point favorites. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. That way we can get to that Free Medical Clinic Friday night scoreboard show. For Coach James Hoot Gibson, Brad Jones, everyone here at BBB TV Channel 12, I am Aaron Harvey. So long, folks.
OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Oh, Friday night scoreboard, the free medical clinic Friday. Man, it's been hard for me this year to get the free medical in there. I've messed it up a bunch of times, but great sponsor. We're glad they've been with us all year long. We appreciate them. They provide health care to people. Oak Ridge, Harriman, Briceville. And one of their mottos is don't fear about not having health care. There is some help out there for you. Go to their website, fmcor. Man, I'm gonna have to read it. I've had that memorized every Friday night until now. fmcor.org, free medical clinic. Go check them out if you need some medical help. Don't fret and just let it ride because you don't have any insurance. Check these people out. They will take care of you. Some great people. We've appreciated their sponsorship all year long and the rest of the year, and hope they'll be with us for many years to come. And they offer a great service to the Oak Ridge, Briceville, and Harriman. I said Harriman, it ain't Harriman. Man, I'm in a bad night tonight. Let me do a little reading here. It is Harriman. I'm sorry. They do Harriman. Anyway, free medical clinic. Check them out if you need some. If you need some. Don't sit around and let something get out of control because you don't have insurance, because you don't know how you're going to pay for it. These folks they'll step forward and try to take care of you. Okay. And if you go, tell them we sent you right here on from Channel 12. You heard us talking about it here on the Friday night scoreboard. It's a great service they provide, and we're glad they're with us. We're in week 8, high school football. Stamp it. It's done. It's in the books. Should be in the books, East Tennessee-wise anyway. I don't think there's many games still clicking. Cox, and we got a guest coming tonight. We're going to have Coach Wright with us tonight. We'll grill him a little bit here later on to see what he's got to say. But I guess I'm going to open up with Oak Ridge going to Greenville tonight, and basically this is my opinion, and I'll ask Cox when he comes in, but basically Greenville dominated Oak Ridge tonight. They just dominated them. This is and I listened to the game. I listened to David Clary, and I don't know the other guy that does the color with him. He does it all the time. I listened to those guys tonight, and man, all they had nothing was praises to sing about Greenville. Best team they'd ever seen, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. Maybe they are. I've not seen them, and I'm sure they are. They've won the state championship a couple times, so not very good news if you're a 4A football team, and we've known that for a while anyway with them, but, when the biggest thing you got to come out of a ball game tonight, and you're coming home from a ball game, is they didn't put 54 points on you, and that's all you got to really brag about. Wow. That's not Oak Ridge football to me. It's not the dominant thing, and I know, but Greenville dominates them tonight, and they'll live on. But Oak Ridge has got 3 really tough games coming up. They've got 2 they've got to win. They're must wins. There are 2 region games left. I think one of them is I think they got to win both to assure second place, for sure. So. Then they got DB rolled in there. I don't think DB's traditionally as good as they have been, or they started off with a really good record, and then Greenville dominated them too. So who hadn't Greenville dominated this year? Maybe it's somebody that they've not played yet. Who knows? So I've not heard an AC score. I do know big score for me anyway is Cofield just rips Greenback and Ewan tonight. That's a big win for the Cofield people. Anytime you beat Greenback, it's good for your football team. It's good for your community. That's another team that's Greenback sort of, been a thorn in Cofield's side on and off for many years. So good win for Cofield tonight. Glad to see that. I don't know what the final was. The last score I heard with Clinton and Lenore City was like 46-21, I believe. I don't know if that was the final score. We've not got them yet. It might be on a ticker, and I've just not seen it yet. The Clinton game. 40-21. I said 46. 40-21. Big win for the Dragons tonight. It evens that record up at 4-4. Let me go back to Oak Ridge. They're 2-5 with 3 games left to play. Wow. That's really. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can see something else that might interest us around here. Looks like Jeff County has got the program straightened out up there a little bit. pulls up another win tonight. South Dole, I don't know what's happened to South Dole, man. They're going in the wrong direction at the wrong time. They had beat in a downpour last night. It was a TV game. Knox Central beat them. Looks like Anderson County wins 19-6 at Gibbs. That's a future opponent of Clinton, I think, maybe in 2 weeks. I think Clinton's off next week. They've got a bye next week. They got their open date. But, like I said, week 8, man, we're closing. This thing is closing in really fast that it's going to be over with. So let's talk about what's going to happen around here. We're going to be here we'll be here for 3 more games anyway, and then into the playoffs. And that'll depend on around here who's left and how long they're left and where they play and all of that. So I'm sure we'll be a week or 2 in, so we might have five more Friday nights. Maybe there could be a little bit more than that left. I don't know yet. That's something that me and Cox will talk with Brad about as we get closer to the end of the year. But, right now most of the teams they've got themselves positioned to trying to position themselves to get into playoffs. Now, here's what David thinks with Clinton. Clinton's got Gibbs and Carnes left. Okay? Gibbs, non-district. Doesn't matter. Be great for Clinton to win that game because the worst they could do is 5-5. That'd be the worst. Okay? So that's good for Clinton. Win the Carnes game, you're probably in the playoffs. Probably. Not 100% sure, but probably. And you'll be 6-4 if you win those last 2 games. That would be a huge turnaround for the Dragons from the last couple of years, and with Coach Keith at the helm the last 2 years. He's turned the program around. Looks to me like tonight they took care of some problems with penalties and things like that and the offensive line. So, my thought to my friends that I was telling them, I'm really shocked at Clinton just not being disciplined, being Coach Keith being a military guy. And I'm sure that's been hammered in their head last week about these penalties because it was, I'm trying to think what Jim Harris said, 15 one week, 19 the next or something like that. That's unreal. I mean, that just don't matter. It takes you out of the ball game, you're going to lose ball games. Anderson County might have the train back on the tracks a little bit. Played a really tough schedule at the first of the year. I think everybody sort of thought this might be what would go down. They wasn't for sure. They're it's good who they're playing right now because they lost their starting quarterback. I believe it's a broken hand. It looks like he's done for the year. Who knows with kids, though? Who knows the way doctors do things today? Have no idea, so I won't even guess that he's out for the year. I'll tell you he's out he's out probably for the rest of the regular season, but who knows if he's out for the rest of the year? Have no idea. But, AC's got the train back on the tracks a little bit and trying to get it the offense has come down a little bit. It's not as high scoring, with the game tonight, just putting 19 points on the board. That's something they'll get straightened out, I'm sure, as they come along. I'm not sure if their offensive coordinator's back. I think he was out maybe or something. For some reason he wasn't. I know Coach Gillum made a comment that he had to take over calling plays during his assistant's absence. So I'm sure they've got everything back in order there. But Oliver Springs wins tonight. They win big tonight. I have not seen. I was trying to see. I have not seen if Kingston played tonight or not. They might be off. That's a possibility. Kingston next week is our game of the week. Is at Kingston next week. It's always a great place to do a football game. There, it's really some fine people down there that take care of you. Probably the best. I will say this. It's probably the best press box around as far as taking care of you if you're in as visiting TV or radio or anything like that. I'm telling you, the hospitality in the Kingston press box by far is number one. That's me. Somebody else could say something about another school, and that'd be fine with me. I'm just telling you, Kingston does it right. They know how to they show great hospitality. Coach Pankey, he's doing a really good job this year. He's got the Kingston program back. He's been there for a while, and it's starting to stable out with him. So, we'll see how it rolls here in the next week or two. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Caller, listen to me. I can't hear you if you're not. You got to talk to me. Talk on your phone.
Okay.
Okay, I can hear you now. Go ahead, caller. Don't listen to the TV. Listen to me. Go ahead.
Well, what happened there, I had to turn you on speaker, too.
Okay.
Something was going on. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No problem, man.
Rockwood, did they have a buyer, or did they supposed to play somebody and didn't? I've heard two tales on that.
A lot of teams were off tonight, and I've not heard Chandler back here say anything to me about Rockwood. He'll scream at me here in a minute if they're on there. I've not seen them on the ticker, so I'm going to say they probably had an open date. A lot of teams are open this week, and there's a bunch that are open next week. So scores locally are going to be sort of farce tonight. But I believe Rockwood and Kingston both must be off tonight.
Yeah, I think so. They're not on.
Yeah, they're not on the schedule, so they're off tonight. They both had open dates tonight.
I wonder what's going on with that. I was watching the Midway Harriman game there.
Yeah.
And they were showing that Oneida was ahead of Rockwood in the playoff picture, but I thought Rockwood didn't beat Oneida.
Didn't see that, so I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I'll try to find out. I'll try to get an answer for you when Cox gets here, and we'll see if we can't pull something up. But I have I'm just being perfectly honest. I have no idea. I've not seen any, other than somebody around here locally just talking about it. I've not heard anything about any other school for somebody to tell me that where Rockwood stands or where. I don't know. I know Kingston. I know Kingston is fairly up in their region. I think they have a big region game coming up towards the end of the year with Loudon, and that'll determine a lot of things there. But I would say Rockwood's teetering around somewhere between third and second. I would think. I can't tell you. I'm sorry. But I will. I promise you this. I will try to find out for you. I know you listen, and I'll try to. As soon as they get here, I'll try to find out and see if we can't get the region standings with Rockwood and see where they're at. But if those guys put it up on TV tonight, that means Brad Jones done it, and I would bet Brad Jones is right.
There you go.
Well, he don't make many mistakes, okay? If he does, it's very. They're minute, but he don't make many. The computer might have done something different, but Brad usually doesn't make mistakes on that. He's on top of it, and when you're doing the TV game, you got to rely on him to put the stats and stuff up. So that he's putting up for the region and stuff. So I would say he's right. If he put that up there, I'm betting on Brad Jones. My money's on Brad Jones.
Are you going to talk about Tennessee after a while?
Yeah, I'm sure we will. We might talk a little earlier about it tonight, just for the simple reason because our high school schedule is sort of thin tonight. There's not going to be a lot to, Oak Ridge played away, so we won't have a lot of Oak Ridge callers. Harris County played at Gibbs. That's not too far, but we might have a few that struggle in later on. But we will talk a little Tennessee football a little later on. I'm saying around 11 this year, 11 to 11:15 time frame, somewhere between 11 and 11:30. Let me just put it like that. That's about when we usually do it. If it's slow, we might jump in there a little earlier. So just pay attention to us, and when we start talking about, feel free to call back.
All right, I appreciate you and Cox, what y'all do on the Friday Night Scoreboard.
Well, man, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to sit here and just holler out and talk to you guys and listen to y'all talk back to us. And I enjoy talking to you, and I enjoy kidding around with you about them Diet Pepsis. I don't never get them, but you're sort of, I'm going to put you in the same boat as Ron Berry. And I know you're mad at me when I say that, but Ron Berry, whenever would buy me no food, he wouldn't buy me a hot dog or a hamburger. And, I depended on you. I depended on you to get me a drink at Rockwood, and you failed me on that too, so you and Barry are in the same boat. I hope it ain't sinking.
Hey, I'll have to get, I know one of them guys that does the news up there on the Channel 12. I might talk to him about bringing some Pepsis up to you.
All right, buddy. Yeah, get Dudley to do it. Well, listen, you better not. Maybe see if he can go by and get Barry to send us a hamburger too. Listen, he gave me a half a hamburger once at Oliver Springs, and that nickname is those guys down Oliver Springs called me. I run into the guy at Food City. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he called me half a hamburger. Now that's how Barry does people. That's not right. This is not right.
Before I get off here, you're talking about a place I used to work. It's Food City.
I used to work at Food City?
Yes, sir.
Heard that. Like I said, I seen the guy that called me half a hamburger. He knows that's what Barry gave me down Oliver Springs once. I wouldn't eat it. I just went and got me a whole one. I was walking down to the concession stand and got it myself. So that's the way me and Brad, he never would feed us. He'd talk about it, but he wouldn't feed us. So, anyway.
I don't know about him.
I heard that, buddy. Well, call us back.
All right.
I see, man. All right, see. All right, see.
Bye.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. I believe you said Anderson County won 19-6, correct?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, thanks, man. Calls every week, gives me the AC score. Appreciate it much, young man. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Pointer?
Not a lot, man. What are you doing?
Not a whole lot, man. The guy just called in asking if Rockwood was off or if they had a game and they didn't play. What it was, Rockwood had to do some rescheduling right after the schedules come out because a team couldn't play or whatever. So Rockwood ended up actually being off tonight. And to answer his question about if Oneida is ahead of them in the region, even though that Rockwood beat them, is if you look at Oneida's schedule, Oneida is 5-2 right now.
Uh-huh.
And they've only got one region loss, and that's the Rockwood. The other loss come to that team out of Kentucky or whatever. And so they've got more region wins than Rockwood does right now.
Okay.
So they are ahead in the regions. If Rockwood plays out like they played the past couple of weeks, Rockwood will jump ahead of them, and Rockwood will finish second because I don't see anybody beating Monterey this year. Monterey, they're tough.
So Monterey's the real deal, hey?
Monterey's pretty tough. I don't know what happened to Rockwood that night they played them, but the team that Rockwood's been playing with past couple of weeks is different.
Okay.
They find in their stride. They're going typical John Webb Rockwood team. They're finally getting in their stride, and they're playing ball.
Well, that's what I would expect from what I've known about Coach Webb over the last 10 or 12 years. That's, he traditionally has a pretty good football team, and he takes care of business.
He does, and Rockwood will be fine. I think Rockwood will end up finishing second in the region, and hopefully they make a deep run in the playoffs again. In the past 10 years, we made the semifinals twice. Have been close to making to the state championship. So,
well, let me say this:
hopefully,
don't count Rockwood out and Coach Webb, because good football coach, really good football coach. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a really good football coach, and don't count Rockwood. I don't count Rockwood out. They've done some amazing things in the playoffs.
Well, look about 4 years ago when Rockwood played Meigs County in the playoffs in the quarterfinals.
That's correct.
Everybody counted Rockwood out. Rockwood went down there and beat Meigs at Meigs County, and Meigs was #1 team in the state.
They sure did. I remember that really well. So that's why I say don't count Rockwood and Coach Webb out. Never count them out.
No, and anything can happen in these next 3 weeks, and so.
Well, look, all you got to do is get hot. Start playing good football at the right time. I mean, I can go back to who I was talking about earlier and say Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge last year was in a similar position. They was a little better shape than what they are right now, but they got hot at the right time coming down the stretch and went all the way to the state championship game, which they lost that game, but still yet they got hot at the right time and started playing right. They got a little longer ways to go this year, I think. They're in a little bit deeper trouble, I think, this year.
Oak Ridge is in a deep hole. I mean, they can pull themselves out of it, but Oak Ridge is in a deep hole at the moment. I mean, and it's East Tennessee high school football. You can't ask for anything different. It's any team can be beaten on any given day, and that's what I love about this sport and love about East Tennessee football, high school football. It's fun to go watch. All these towns get behind their teams and stuff, and that's what it's about, supporting these kids. So, but
you're right. I always say
back after a while when we start talking Tennessee football.
All right, man. Give us a call back, and I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Appreciate the callers. 483-81112. Give us a call and we'll talk about it. If your team didn't play tonight and you want to talk about somebody else, if you went to a high school football game tonight, and hey, just like the young man said there, just called. Get out and support your local high school team. Get out and go to the concession stand. Drop $4 or $5. You know, it could be going to a band. It could be going to the band. It could be going to the girls softball team. It could be going to the boys baseball team. Most of the minor sports work off the concession stands and do things like that. So get out and support those teams through the concession stands and help them out a little bit. You know, get your hot dog and a cold drink and a bag of popcorn and get out and watch a really good high school football game, and then get out and watch some amazing bands, because we have some amazing bands in this area. Some of them are big, some of them are small. Doesn't really matter what the size is. We have some really amazing bands, so get out and catch those folks. Like I said, you know, we're deep in this thing. You know, it's hard to believe that it was just a few weeks ago that we were kicking this thing off, and you know, it's hard to believe it. I missed the first week of it, and but we're really deep in this. This high school football the clock's really ticking, and before you know it, we're going to be saying, "All right, folks, that's it. The regular season's over. Here's the ones that are going on, and everybody else is washing up uniforms and cleaning up pads, and they're hanging them up and they're storing them, and they're going to take a week off, and some of them are going to go into basketball, but some of them are going to go start winter workouts, and they're going to start them here in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So I suggest get out and catch you a good high school football game. There's a lot of teams in there that's really good. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Hey, David.
Yeah.
CoachT.com has got Clinton 46, Lenore City 27.
That could be true. It just depends on when Coach T updates. So we'll see. He might have it. It could change now. He got it from Coach T too, so they could have changed it. So they change and update. They're a little slow sometimes. So did you go to the game tonight?
No, it's too far for me to go.
I understand that, buddy. I understand that. Did you listen to him?
I listened to it.
Played a little bit better tonight. Not as many penalties tonight. They cleaned that up just a little bit.
They done that. If they could do these next 2 games, they'd be all right.
Yeah, they got a really big. I think the game against Gibbs in 2 weeks, I think is real winnable for Clinton. The Carnes game, they'll have to play maybe I'm going to say probably their best game of the year. They've got a running back over there. They'll have to stop the run. This young man he can pick them up and put them down now. So I think they'll have to really play the best game of the year to beat Carnes. But now, win these next 2 games, there's a great I think that they'll be in the playoffs. If nothing else, they'll be 6-4. And what a turnaround. I mean, just what a turnaround. It's a big turnaround.
Yeah, just 2 games we won last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
2-8.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a big, that's a good, my prediction was 5-5. I had them at 5-5. But I had them in the playoffs at 5-5. So I guess I didn't realize what the kid was at Carnes. I didn't know about him. But I thought Clinton would be 5-5 and be in the playoffs. I thought 6-4 maybe was a possibility, maybe. 7-3 was a really outreach. It'd have to upset somebody that I didn't know if they could beat. Not somebody maybe like an Oak Ridge or somebody like that. But so I think the 5-5 things would really be big for Clinton, and 6-4 would really be great. Playoffs or not, and I'm sure they want to go to the playoffs. I'm sure Coach Keith wants to go to the playoffs. But anyway, things are looking better for Clinton.
Well, maybe they're off next week, so maybe they can see mishaps that they.
Yeah, well, they get some injury. They get some people healed up, maybe that's banged up, and they'll get refreshed a little bit, and they'll come out next week and they take on Gibbs, and it'll be a whole lot better.
All right. I will see you, David.
Thank you, man. All right, let's jump out and take our first break of the night. We'll be right back just in a few minutes here on the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard.
Many of our neighbors are living in fear of becoming sick or injured because they do not have health insurance or can't afford to go to the doctor. The Free Medical Clinic is solving that problem by providing free, no-charge primary care clinics in Oak Ridge, Harriman, and Briceville for residents in Anderson, Morgan, and Roane counties. But we don't accomplish this alone. There's no way we can create a better future for our community members by ourselves. It takes all of us. We thank each of our valuable partners in helping the Free Medical Clinic end the fear of those who can't afford medical care. On behalf of our thousands of patients, thank you.
American Outdoor Equipment has a great new location in Rockwood. They are a Branson tractor dealer with various sizes to choose from. Branson's greatest asset is their strength, quality, and features. But American Outdoor Equipment also has Bobcat mowers. You can expect the best when it comes to performance, durability, and comfort with a Bobcat mower. Or how about a Dixie chopper mower? They're the world's fastest lawn mowers. They have a large service and parts department. They are family owned and operated, plus they offer in-house financing. That's American Outdoor Equipment in Rockwood.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Your grandmother's fine china, those trendy sneakers, your collection of hand-carved duck decoys. Auto Owners protects your home. Because, well, somebody should. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Oh, now you do your job.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We built our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Welcome back to the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard. Glad to have you boys with me. Got Coach Cox and Coach Wright with us tonight. Jody, I don't know how he drug you down here, but glad you're here.
Thanks, Dad.
Maybe you can help me out a little bit because I don't have no help, so need some help, bud. Let's see. This is Jesse. Quick, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, guys, it's Jesse Spenty. Calling a little early tonight.
Calling early tonight. I guess Anderson County got you back home early.
Yeah, that's right. We were out at Capitol tonight, and they kind of got boat raced, and so we got a little running clock, and got done early tonight.
I heard that. Here, try this guy, see if you can hear him. I can hear you.
We can't hear you, Jay. You there?
We're working on getting here. Go ahead.
All right. You guys got me now?
Yeah, I think you do.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so we're out at Catholic tonight for their showdown with Lipscomb Academy, and they got boat raced, and so we got the running clock, and got our show done early, but still cool to kind of catch up with Trent Dilfer and talk with him on the show tonight. And they were pretty much dominant tonight, even without their top receiver. And I don't know if CAK and Webb can compete with a team like that in Division II AA, but they're going to have to somewhere in the playoffs.
Is that where you did your 5-star live from tonight?
Yeah, we did. We got the chance to interview Trent Dilfer after the game and his quarterback Luther Richardson, who's getting SEC looks and SEC offers, and it was easy to see why. He's 6'4", 6'5", 200 some odd pounds, and just lightning bolt for an arm. And he threw for over 300 tonight. And coming into this game, he had as many touchdowns this year as incompletions. Think about that.
Wow.
He had 17 touchdown passes this year, only 17 incompletions. We're almost mid-part of October. To only have 17 incompletions is ridiculous to me. They throw the football quite a bit. And so he showed why he's being recruited, and they have almost, I think, 15 to 16 guys who are being recruited by FBS schools, and it was a lot of talent on the field tonight.
Jesse, did I read a tweet that you put out maybe about a Jefferson County standout was playing for David Lipscomb?
Yeah, so Jefferson County's top running back, Aiden Houston, he's a 1,000-yard back. Of course, Jefferson County went 0-10 last year. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but his family has a lot of ties in Jefferson County. But he transferred to Lipscomb Academy. He's their number 3 tailback. They have a tailback who's committed to Boston College. They have another guy right behind him who's equally as good. So they were able to use Aiden Houston out at receiver a little bit tonight because, again, they were without their number 1 guy who had over 600, 700 yards receiving coming into this game. They're kind of resting him up for the big showdown with CPA coming up later in the season. So Aiden Houston did get the chance to get the ball in the end zone tonight, but he's just a small piece of the puzzle over there. They got so many guys that I don't understand his reason for transfer to go over there. Maybe it is to help with exposure. I don't know. They were using him, but that was a key piece that Jefferson County was probably banking on having in 2021, and they don't have that guy. But they have had another sophomore tailback, Omarion Mills, who really emerged. He's one of the area's leading rushers. So Jefferson County has been able to do just fine without him. But that was a big blow to that program when he transferred.
Jesse, it's interesting to see the how Lipscomb has really changed their, I guess, focus, so to speak. You look years ago with Coach McAdams, he's been there for forever, and very respected coach. And I can remember, hear people talking about Lipscomb, and they couldn't compete with the big boys. And I listened to a little bit of the broadcast tonight. I think John Wilkerson said that he had, when he spoke at the quarterback club Wednesday, he said he's got 27 assistant coaches. Obviously, if they've got Dilfer in there, they're not paying him, chump change. But it's just interesting to see, again, I think another private school that has totally changed the direction, probably mission statement, and to kind of keep up with the Joneses down there in Nashville.
Yeah, no doubt they've definitely pulled in together more and more resources. Now, who that's coming from, I don't.
We lost Jesse. There he
is. And it's but one of the things that's helped Trent Dilfer, and this sounds crazy, was COVID. You had all these athletes out in California that he had connected to that didn't have a place to play last season. So a number of those guys transferred in and have helped kind of bolster that roster even more. So they finished state runner-up a year ago to CPA. Kind of disappointed. I'm sure that they were disappointed that they lost that game, but I think they've only gotten better as a program, stronger as a program, and I don't see how anybody beats them this year. We'll see. They play CPA in a couple of weeks.
Speaking of Jefferson County, do they have a winning season going right now?
They do. They're 5-2, and they just thwarted Hardin Valley tonight like they were supposed to, coming off of that big win over Dobbins-Bennett a week ago. And you could say, well, maybe Jefferson County's going to have a letdown, but they won that game easily tonight, I think 42-7. So they're a win away from officially having a win a season, but right now they're 5-2 and probably feeling really good about their chances to finish with a winning season and continue to rebuild that program.
What's your thoughts on the Anderson County score tonight?
Well, it didn't surprise me because you can't count on having 2 defensive scores every week. So when you go back and really put the Carter win under the microscope, obviously those 2 defensive scores they had in the first half just really killed any kind of hopes that Carter had, and they were able to control the game from that point out, just kind of running the football. But inevitably, when you have a freshman quarterback back there that everybody's going to try to make life difficult for, there's going to be nights where you have to grind out games in the 18 to 19, 20 point range, and that's what happened tonight. They were able to get the touchdowns late from Gavin and put it away, but Gibbs has played a lot of teams tough this year. I know they got boat raced by Fulton, but if you go back and look at the Gibbs schedule, they've given a lot of difficulty to teams this year, and so Anderson County just found itself in one of those situations where they were just going to have to grind out a win. But they got their number 1 seed. I think that was the collective goal for the Mavericks going into that game. They got that, and now they can kind of start to prepare for the playoffs somehow.
Absolutely. Anything that you're looking forward to next Friday night?
No, I mean, it's probably going to be a week that's kind of like tonight. I think this week there were 103 teams in the state of Tennessee that had bye weeks. Next week it's 110. 110 teams next week will have bye. So it's going to be another light schedule. Weeks 8 and weeks 9 are really just a chance for us to kind of gather our collective breath, kind of catch your breath before all the drama of weeks 10 and 11, teams trying to lock down region championships or maybe get into the playoffs as a 4 seed or a 3 seed. So we're going to have a lot of drama packed in the last 2 weeks of the regular season. We're going to have Kingston versus Loudon for a showdown for a region championship. We might have a Farragut-Bearden game in week 11 that could decide a playoff spot between those 2 rivals. So right now we're just going to kind of keep it cool over the next week or 2 and then really gear up for the last push.
All right, buddy. We appreciate you calling in. Y'all got anything else for him?
That's it, man.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you getting me on early, and we'll talk to you next week.
Go get some rest. I know you're getting up early in the morning.
Yeah, so we're going to try to crank out everything early tonight and get a little bit of sleep before this game tomorrow.
All right, see you, bud.
See you, Jess.
See y'all.
Hey, question. Did I see where Kingston won the golf thing?
Yes.
I seen that. That's what I wanted to make sure I saw.
And they're going to come be on the show next Friday night.
Oh, they are?
They couldn't make it tonight. I think they must have been, kids leaving from there, going on vacation, different things, but they'll be back.
Good.
Yeah, they'll
Jody,
be back.
I heard you say 27 assistant coaches?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are those all paid or are they volunteers? Or some volunteers?
I don't know. They said, he said 27 assistant coaches, and he said on the radio on his roster, 20 assistant coaches listed on his roster. So, that tells me he's probably got, some that are strength coaches or that run maybe some off-season workouts or something of that nature. But,
How many kids does he dress?
I don't know. That's classic one of those schools that was at a crossroad. Do you stay true to what this school has been founded on, or do we say we got to play with the big boys? We got to do what NBA and Brentwood Academy and what Innsworth, we got to do what they're doing. And it's obvious which direction that they took.
Yeah, you're right. He's probably not making no small coaching supplement for being down there.
No, I'd say he's probably making more than, $8,000, $9,000 coaching supplement.
I'm sure he is. Well, the next question I'll ask, do you think public high school football's in trouble? I mean, I look tonight, Midway didn't look like they had very many kids. Harriman doesn't have very many kids. I know Sunbright traditionally doesn't have very many. Fulton's not got a lot this year. Clinton's not got a lot, really.
Well, I mean, I don't know that it's public as much as it is just. I talked to Dave Webb last week. I think they've got 35 kids out for football. I just think it's one of those situations where numbers are probably down all over the country. And again, David, I don't know if this is, if it's COVID related. I don't know if it's kids that are moving into other areas. Soccer is bigger, and kids get into soccer at an earlier age. So I don't know, but I remember we played the other night, and of course we kind of come down through the stands, and I told Steve, I said that was pretty impressive when you walking through there with 85, 90 kids, much like over at Blankenship when they came down those stairs 100 strong. It was intimidating.
Most definitely.
It's not as intimidating when you're walking down with 45. No. And that's a great question, but I don't know that we I don't know that you see that as much. But now, too, kids want to be involved in something that's cool. I mean, that's just the nature of kids. And I think you look at Anderson County, and playing football's cool up there. They're winning games. They got the fireworks. They got, they got all the bells and whistles. So they've got a lot of kids out. At Fulton, I think you've got a historically really good program that's probably not as good. We're still pretty good, but we're not near as good as we were. So, that's a little bit of adjustment. And I think you look at that across the board, probably at some schools that are good, that haven't been as good, and it's cool now to play football. Their numbers are getting there. And I think you mentioned Clinton. For Clinton is in a rebuilding. I think if they can finish and have a good year this year, they have a good year next year. Now it becomes cool to play football again. Kids, we've seen this. The transfer portal in college is decimating one of the true things that athletics do, which is, again, teach you how to handle adversity. Kids don't grow up wanting to handle adversity. They want it to be, all smooth, downhill ride with the wind behind your back. And so, therefore, to the work that is involved in being a high school athlete, a lot of kids do that because, again, it's the cool thing to do. This is the cool team. And so I think that's a lot of it. I mean, that's the ebb and flows of, I'd say if you ask people down in Kingston, you ask Panky that, he'd probably tell you the same thing. It's getting cool to play football at Kingston again.
Yeah,
so, when to me, just success reflects numbers. I think, Maryville probably is not having an issue with numbers. I dare say Alcoa's probably having an issue with numbers. A lot of the other schools. So I don't think it is just a public or private school, because there's some private schools that are struggling number-wise as well.
And it, like we've talked before on the show, it seems like kids have other things they'd like to do other than dress out and play football on Friday night. I think that has a little bit to do with it as well. But the programs that are successful are dressing out a lot of kids. Anderson County might dress out 90, but how many football players they have? That's
always the case, though. Yeah. I mean, we could dress out. There's 100 times, or there was times we dressed out 105 one year, or had 105 on the roster. Now, how many of those were players? We'd have, we had probably 60 that couldn't play dead in the Western, But
they were winning. They want to win state championship.
They wanted those rings.
They want to go on the wall.
They wanted, and so a lot of times when you have, and those teams that have the big numbers, again, a lot of those, they're dressing out their freshmen, and they're dressing out probably a lot of guys that they wouldn't want in the ball game.
I understand. And probably some of them never got in a ball game either. So.
Yeah. But Mama said, but Mama sees him with his uniform on the sidelines and his helmet on.
My boy plays for AC. I mean, that's
rah, rah, rah.
Yeah. Did you listen to much of the Clinton game on the way here tonight?
I listened to a little bit of it early on. I listened a lot of the Oak Ridge game, but I listened to both of them, as a matter of fact, at the same time. Don't ask me how I did that, but I did it.
Talent.
It's just talent. That's all it is. Clinton cleaned up a lot of things tonight. Penalties. I think the last 2 weeks, 15, 19 penalties running. Not very many penalties tonight. Coach Keith's son really played pretty well tonight. I can't think of the other young man's name. He played the running back. He played fairly well tonight, too. So Clinton played really, really well tonight.
That was a game they should have won. They were better than
they had to win.
Well, I had Clinton all along at 5-5. I said 6-4. I really thought 6-4 was possible. At the worst, I thought 4-6. And at the really be on the outside, 7-3. And that means beating somebody you're not supposed to beat. I didn't think 7-3 was even reachable, but I thought 5-5 was really reachable. Now that goal is out there at 5-5 for them. To have a 5-5 season, to only win a couple games, I don't know what they've won in the last 2 years, but last year I only think they won 2. So to go 5-5, that's great improvement from the year. If they can win that, beat Carnes and Gibbs, and be 6-4, that's a great year, whether they go to the playoffs or not.
I had Clinton beating Oak Ridge. I really thought they would beat Oak Ridge simply because, I think that anytime you've got probably the best player on the field in your uniform, you've got a shot to win. And I think the quarterback from Clinton is good. Anytime he steps on the field, he's as good as anybody.
Yeah, he's lightning in the bottom.
But I think too,
pretty good in that.
when you've been down again, you've heard me say this so many times before. There comes a point in the game. One team expects to win and one team's hoping to win. And I think it came at that point, and Oak Ridge was expecting to win and Clinton was hoping to win, and the teams that are hoping to win generally get beat.
So the 7-3 record would have mean, as I said earlier before you guys got here, believe it or not, I said that would have mean beating Oak Ridge. I thought they might get Oak Ridge too.
Yeah.
So, Keith throws 86-yard pass tonight, but they didn't score. It's an 86-yard pass. They didn't get it. He got tackled. But it's 86-yard pass. Went 86 yards, but they didn't get in the end zone. So I think he scored the next play or within the next two plays they scored. So
I'm just looking up there. Why in the world would Austin East go to South Pitt?
I'd say probably both schools had trouble getting games. I can't imagine that they're lining up to play.
Austin East got beat
42-0.
Yeah, you don't want to play South Pitt.
The big win I think of the night, just the score, is Halls over Carnes, and Carnes only scored 14 points. That means Bishop.
What did he
Bishop, he got over 300 yards.
But 300 yards.
He scored 300.
Is it true that all Carnes can do is run the football? They can't throw the ball?
I don't know.
Is that a true
statement? I listened to a little bit of it, and I think and I saw something where I think he had 38 carries at one point in the second half. This was in the third quarter. He was the only one. This was deep into the third quarter. He and the quarterback, the only ones that have touched the ball.
Now, I'm trying to think who said this tonight. I'm going to say it might have been Jim Harris, talking about the kid from Carson, running back. He said he's the leading rusher in the nation right now.
He is.
He is?
Yes.
Okay.
23. He had, I think, about 2,300 yards. So he's on. He's got a shot to get 3,000.
What's he? Let's see. What's his kid that played at UT a couple of years?
Hurd.
Yeah. He had 3,000, and is it 3,000 or 3,000 and something? He's got a chance to get
over 3,000 yards, but he played 15 games.
He played 15 games?
He played 14 out of 15.
I would think that Carnes is, not unless Clinton can get, I think if Clinton's got to beat them to maybe knock them out, I would think he's going to get one extra game possibly. There's a possibility. Yeah. It's possible. So I won't say definite, but he can
I think Carnes is going to make the playoffs because Carnes has beat Campbell County and Carnes has beat.
What if Clinton beats Carnes?
Then that'd be I don't know how the tiebreaker goes.
No, you'd have to have a cheat sheet to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know how the tiebreaker goes. But
so that's what I say. It depends on what happens. So well, see, Carnes has still got to play Oak Ridge Thursday night.
Is that on TV?
That's a TV game, yes, sir.
And Carnes
that's not this coming Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Is one of those teams that once they get going,
the Thursday night game.
I mean, and I don't know who they steamrolled a week or so ago, and I can't remember who it was, but they just got rolling, and I think that's he's one of those guys that when he gets uncorked, he can score from anywhere, and he can score in a hurry.
Fast.
But now too, you wonder about. I guess my question with Carnes again: how good are they defensively? They can score. Can they keep anybody else from scoring? Because Halls, who has been a very good, solid team, but now they've not set the woods on fire. I think Halls scored 35 tonight.
Yeah, 34-14.
Well, there'll be some lightning when Clinton and them play. Both with the quarterback there, but I understand the reason the Oak Ridge Carnes game was moved is Carnes wanted this young man to have some TV time.
Hold on, you mean Clinton?
No, Oak Ridge and Carnes.
Oh, okay.
Carnes wanted him to get some TV exposure.
Who was originally scheduled for that game?
That's a question I can't answer. I don't know. I didn't hear him.
And Oak Ridge's defense is probably their strong suit.
Yes, I would say that's their strong suit. Oak Ridge, new offense tonight. They changed, apparently, according to Coach Gaddis, they changed. I didn't realize they changed everything. I reckon they changed everything.
Changed coordinators, didn't they?
Changed coordinators, changed everything. So
what they run tonight offensively?
I have no idea. I didn't hear him say what they were running, but
can't believe some of our Oak Ridge homers hadn't called in yet.
Oh, that one homer won't call.
Oh, they lost.
Oak Ridge loses, they don't call. So he's not calling tonight. You can bet that. He might come in the door down here and won't brag about it, but he ain't calling us. So, but we'll run him out of here too. But so you said Campbell County goes down tonight to Powell?
Campbell County went down tonight to Powell. Campbell County has this coming week off. They're banged
most
up.
Teams are having a chance to heal up a little bit.
Yeah, they're banged up. Their leading rusher tonight didn't play against Powell. Concussion against Clinton there, and that's why he didn't
we asked about that.
Yeah.
What happened to him? You hear?
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
So, and jump out, take a quick commercial break.
Yeah, let's jump out. We'll take another break. We'll be right back just a few minutes here on the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard.
Be honest, I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. I checked what the CDC says and spoke with my doctor about the potential side effects. It definitely made me much less anxious. She told me if I have some arm pain or feel tired, that's completely normal as my body builds a defense to the virus. I was willing to take the vaccine to protect me, my family, and my friends. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
American Outdoor Equipment has a great new location in Rockwood. They are a Branson tractor dealer with various sizes to choose from. Branson's greatest asset is their strength, quality, and features. But American Outdoor Equipment also has Bobcat mowers. You can expect the best when it comes to performance, durability, and comfort with a Bobcat mower. Or how about a Dixie chopper mower? They're the world's fastest lawn mowers. They have a large service and parts department. They are family owned and operated, plus they offer in-house financing. That's American Outdoor Equipment in Rockwood.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores, and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies' boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Beautiful yards make a statement, and beautiful yards come from Simplicity Mowers. Their exclusive free-floating mower decks with full-width rollers track the contours of your yard for a perfect cut. So visit your neighborhood Simplicity dealer today and start the conversation about your lawn. Simplicity, the way to a beautiful lawn.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
And welcome back to the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard, guys. Catch a call here. Quick, caller, you on the air.
Hey, this is Gavin. How y'all doing tonight?
I couldn't hear him. What you said? Who is this? I couldn't hear you.
Gavin, no.
Okay, Gavin. Hey, Gavin, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are y'all?
We can't complain, buddy. What kind of game did you have tonight, son?
not going to brag on myself. I'll brag on my lineman real quick.
Okay, brag on the lineman then.
They opened a lot of holes and made some plays on the perimeter to keep kids on it. And that was due to Cody and our receiving. I'm sorry, sir. But eventually we just kind of got to a point where we really needed to just have a nice sustained drive, and we decided to run it down the field. And me and Nick went back and forth with Eli Davis and Zach Shannon also leading the way. You know, it was real nice. It was real fun to have that type of job.
Hey, Gavin, who played quarterback for y'all tonight?
It was Cody Miller. He did a great job.
Okay, he's a freshman, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I was following on Twitter, didn't get to see it. It sounded like a lot of turnovers in the game, and then I think you scored a couple touchdowns late to sort of pull away. Now, who do y'all play next week?
We got a bye week for fall break, and then we go to Beard, which is a good test.
Beard's a pretty good defensive football team. What do you think, Coach Wright?
Hey, Gavin, this is Coach Wright. So I saw on social media there was a lot of fumbles both ways tonight. Was the ball wet, or what was the reason for the fumbles?
I know for me, I tried to lean out one time, and I just lost it. Just a stupid play. I remember we had a couple fumble snaps that really could have gone either way. We're lucky to get back on them. And for them, they had some mesh problems. They dropped it during the mesh, and they dropped it during the snap too. There were other times when he was rolling out, we got to the quarterback, and we did a good job of knocking it out for him.
How many carries did you get tonight, Gavin?
Oh, I have no idea. No idea.
Well, the reason he's asking is because I swear on the way here we heard you had 7 carries in the third quarter, and we were like, there is no way that's right.
No, I don't think that's right.
Okay, it must have been 17. We
needed about 37.
Yeah, 37.
At least you're a lot better runner than your dad was.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you, Gavin. You go home tonight, you hug your mother, okay? Because she gave you all your athletic talent. You can get it from your dad. All right? I know that for sure, okay? You go home and hug your mother tonight. Tell her you love her. Because she gave you your God-given ability tonight. She sure did.
I was telling a little kid, they said, what's your goal after high school? I just said, make sure everyone knows I was better than Risky Jackson and Trey. That's my only goal.
Hey, Gavin, congratulations. I know that was a big win tonight, and look forward to seeing you make a little postseason run here.
There, yes, sir. Hey, thank y'all for having me.
All right, see you, bud.
All right, buddy, see you.
Anytime we can get a dig in on Richie No, it's a good thing.
And he's watching, and the best part is tonight the 5-star prep camera caught a picture of Richie that will definitely be on social media soon. So maybe we can get that posted on the air tonight so everybody can see it. But yeah,
he might be calling in to defend himself. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Hey, David, when's the last time that Oak Ridge went 2-5 out of 7 games?
I don't know. Well, let's see, what were they last year? 2-3, and then they went on a big.
Yeah, they were 2-3 last year. They weren't. I don't know the last time they were 2-5.
It's probably been a while.
Well, since we started this show.
No, it's not since me and Cox. I mean, it's been a while.
You know, they may be a chance. They might not even make the playoffs.
No, they're going to make.
They're making the playoffs. They're second right now.
They're second right now.
With the 2-5 record.
Yeah. The region games are more important than non-region. I mean, that's the way you got to look at it nowadays. It doesn't matter what you do out of region. You got to win. You want to win the region games.
It's not about winning the games. It's about winning the right games.
Right. Win the right games. That's what it's all about.
So are they 1-1 right now, or
in the region,
or 2-1 in the region?
2-1 in the region. Only losses to Powell that they played. They still got Campbell County, Carnes region games left, and DB non-region.
Yeah, I think they'll be 2-0.
Let me ask you something about Monterey. They in single A? Monterey is.
What's
Rockwood? I don't know if they're 1 or 2. They're good.
Is Rockwood 2A or 6?
Rockwood's 2.
They're 2A because I think Monterey is good. They said.
Yeah.
The real deal.
And York, what's the York? James.
York Institute.
Yeah, York
Jamestown.
Institute. From my understanding, they're both really good this year.
Okay.
Yep.
So where's Monterey getting all these people at? All these players at?
Who knows?
Maybe Oak Ridge.
What's the record?
I don't have any idea what Monterey's record is.
They
See if we can find
They
out.
didn't bring all those kids back from Cookville.
Yeah, they stood out
They
up on the
stopped
mountain
at the Burger King
at
down
the
there.
Burger King down there.
They probably got some out of Clark Range. You know, it's just right next door to Monterey.
Yep, it is.
All right, fellas, you have a good one now. Thank you now.
All right, buddy.
I see, bud.
All right, bye.
Quick caller, you're on the air.
All right, I'm ready to eat my crow.
Ready to eat
Crow eating time.
It's crow eating time, yep.
Florida's good.
Congratulations to the Kentucky Wildcats. I hate to say that, but it is what it is. A block field goal touchdown, and anyway, blah, 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 blah. A win's a win. Congratulations. But I got to eat crow again, too, though, because I called Brad this morning. We was having a conversation, and I heard through the grapevine after week 2, Greenback switched up their schedule, the practice schedule for the week. It was lift on Monday, practice Tuesday, lift on Wednesday, practice Thursday, Friday. And I called him and I said, them boys are going to come in here and they're going to be strong if they're lifting during the season like that. And Cofield just smoked them. So I'm eating crow on the Gators, and I'm eating crow on because I thought Greenback was going to give Cofield a game. So there you go.
I don't know what to tell you.
Nobody does, because I mean it's hard to comfort somebody when they lose to Kentucky.
Hey, what's your thoughts on what's the backup quarterback's name right now that Dan Mullen's not playing?
Richardson is, I don't even know why he's not playing. I mean,
you know why? Because he's getting ready to hit the transfer portal.
You think so?
Yeah, I was reading today, and I was with a guy who actually keeps up with all that stuff, and I don't. He showed me the article. Richardson is looking to enter the transfer portal, and he's already said his first team that he'll be looking to will be Tennessee. His second will be Texas A&M.
You just make it. You wouldn't kick a fella while he's down, would you?
I'm serious. I'm serious. If you'll text Jeff, I'll get Brad's number. I'll see him the article. I was reading it today. He's looking to transfer. He's not on the same page as Dan Mullen. They don't get along. He's miserable, and it's Texas and A&M and Tennessee. That's the two schools.
That's unbelievable. I mean, he's so much better than Emory Jones. When he's in there, the offense is so much better.
Something's wrong.
I mean, do what?
Something must be up then if he's that much better.
Have you seen him? I mean, have you seen the offense for Florida when he's in versus Emory Jones?
I just watched the second half of that game, and I thought probably one of the worst offensive games I've watched Dan Mullen coach as far as their execution. And that might have been Kentucky's defense. But I think Dan Mullen's the second best coach in the SEC, and he didn't look real good there tonight.
Well, I mean, Steve Spurrier had a few of those games, too. They all do. I mean, everybody's got a down game, so. But, man, I'd rather have a down game against Alabama than I would against Kentucky. I mean, I'd rather Alabama beat us by 60 than to lose to Kentucky.
And who does Florida have this week? Is it Georgia?
No, we got Vanderbilt.
It's Vandy. Okay.
Got Vandy in the swamp at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
And then off, and then Georgia?
That's correct.
Yeah. 3 losses in the SEC. Not a good look.
Well, I mean, the SEC is a tough conference. I mean.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why Texas and Oklahoma want to come over here because, I mean, those storied programs, Texas and Oklahoma with their, everything's bigger in Texas and Texas high school football and blah, 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 blah. And then they're going to come over here and, suffer 3-4 losses every year. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, the SEC champion didn't have 2 losses this year.
No.
No, that's not happening.
No.
Not even close.
It's going to come.
The SEC will have 2 teams in the playoffs, and one of them will have 1
Alabama's
loss.
not going undefeated this year.
Who's not?
Alabama.
Well,
They are
I'd
not-
let
they
that
are
game
not
play out
going
first.
undefeated.
I wouldn't count Alabama out on nothing.
I think Georgia and Alabama will play each other 2 times. SEC championship,
2
national
times.
championship.
Hey, Georgia's got the best defense I've seen they might have the best defense I've ever seen in college football.
We'll see. Don't count Alabama out.
And Alabama had some good defenses back in the day.
Yeah.
Hey, Georgia, like he said, Georgia and Alabama could play twice this year.
I agree with that.
He's had a rough weekend. He's had a rough week.
Yeah. Then he's wanting to tell
saying
us.
some awful.
He's wanting to predict everybody else, and he's not. You
Nah,
don't need to be predicted.
I tell you this, it ain't going to be Florida playing Alabama in the SEC championship game.
Hey, what are you going to do tomorrow if Vanderbilt beats Florida?
I might have to go get this tattoo removed off my arm.
Okay.
If you lose to Kentucky and Vanderbilt the same season, can you still cheer for the same team? I mean, come on now.
Hey, are you feeling better about Cofield? You were on the ledge there a couple weeks ago.
Not really.
They go down and beat a team tonight that's been a pain in their
thorn in the side.
Thorn in the side, yeah. You got to feel good about Cofield tonight. Come on.
Beat them soundly.
And beat them, yeah, there wasn't no question.
But that team that they beat tonight has got a new coach. They ran the other guy out of town.
You got a new coach.
Yeah, but we got a good coach.
Oh.
Okay. You're struggling tonight, man. You're struggling.
What am I supposed to say? I mean, you're asking me questions and I'm answering them.
You're supposed to say you're home with Cofield again. They're back on the road. They're back. Trains back on tracks, buddy. Let's go.
Don't get big-headed again.
Don't get big-headed.
Okay. I don't think they had a big head in the first place.
If they didn't have the big head, they'd have beat the crap out of Carter.
Well,
hey, Caller, do you think Tennessee's the second best team in the SEC East?
I think they're the second best offensive team in the SEC East.
Who's first in the SEC East? Not Georgia.
No, we are.
Oh.
The Gators.
With a bad quarterback.
Exactly. So imagine putting Anthony Richardson in there and giving him a chance.
He'll be wearing orange and white next year.
Do what?
He'll be wearing orange and white next year.
Oh, speaking of which, them black uniforms are sweet.
They are. I like the helmet.
I do too. That's a great uniform they're wearing tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
All right. Well, hey, fellas, y'all have a great night, man. I'm sorry it took so long on y'all.
No problem, man. See you.
Bye.
Been a rough weekend for that old boy.
Yeah, he's been on the ledge a couple times, eh?
He's worried. He worried about that Cofield game a couple weeks ago, and now he's.
So as we're coming down the stretch here, who's got the biggest chance to maybe for the season really just to fall out from under him? Who you think? Is there anybody that's like teetering on it? I mean, that it could be an early exit in the playoffs that might make it in the first round, but get knocked out in the first round. I mean, is that Oak Ridge maybe? I mean, I'm just saying.
I'd say Oak Ridge.
And Oak Ridge has played I know they played a tough schedule. They always do, but.
So Oak Ridge is going to go in as a 2 seed and have to head to Walker Valley or Ray County?
They'll host as a 2.
They'll host as a 2.
Never mind, they'll host. So they wouldn't play Walker Valley or Ray County. They play Ray County second week of the playoffs.
The thing that you don't want to do is and that's the scheduling is always one of the biggest. It's a challenge, and you don't want to overschedule. You don't want to bite off more than you can chew, and you go into those. You get into the playoffs, and it sounds like Oak Ridge may be getting in there and kind of limping in. And at the same time, too, you don't want to underschedule. I think we saw that probably with, Anderson County last couple of years, and some of it not of their own doing, but just in a region where they were far better. And I think when they got time to You know, when it became big boy football, they really hadn't seen big boy football all year long. And so that's the hardest thing. And I think that, you know, if you probably talk to Coach Gillum, he'd probably tell you, you know, I thought this team was going to be better, and I thought that team was going to be better. So you don't ever know. That is really, I think coaches go through that. You know, what gives us a schedule that gives us a chance to be challenged. But, you know, basketball, we look at it a little bit different. We're not we're a tournament sport. We don't have to qualify for the postseason. Football coaches, you know, they do have to qualify.
Yeah,
so they look
more pressure on them.
They do. So it's a little bit different, but you don't want to get your team just overwhelmed and get a bunch of guys hurt and get demoralized. But at the same time, you need to be challenged every Friday night.
Well, 10 games compared to what with you?
20, 24, 25.
24, 25. So you got to get it done in 10, where you've got to get it done. I don't know how many's in the region now or district or whether they're calling it now, but you got to win that.
Yeah, but too, the thing is, you know, basketball it's a tournament sport.
It's tournament.
You know, you can when it's over, you know, and you've heard me say this, everything's even. You know, when the season's over and it starts tournament time,
I swear. You
know, everybody starts with the same slate.
Let's get this call before we take another break. Good caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good evening to you guys there.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, David. Glad to see you've got a Knoxville Sports Hall of Famer sitting over there next to you there, and he'll be up here at Mountain View Park on Thursday night with a bunch of these coaches over there at Fulton High School, and I'm hoping David and maybe you and Johnson will come up there, and I know Jody's wife and some of them maybe will be able to talk to you and get you back on the side of Peyton Manning there. Jody, he's been hating on Peyton here lately.
That's not happening. I'm sure they would talk to me. I'm sure that they would get me down the road probably.
Maybe you come on up there and have a hot dog there and have a little bite to eat with us up there. With at least Jody and the family and all the coaches up there. Maybe they can talk to you there.
I'm not in for taking a whipping.
Probably get one if you come up there on Thursday.
I sure would.
I'll be looking forward to seeing. I just want to congratulate all the area schools there tonight on some good games and stuff there. And maybe you and Jonathan will find your way up here, up Mountain View Park on Thursday night there. And maybe you need bring your wife on up there and your boy and everybody up there, and maybe Jody and Kim and some of them can talk to you. Maybe you'll get showing a little bit of love for Peyton Manning there.
I'm sure Kim would be glad to talk to him about it.
Absolutely. Okay, you guys have a good evening.
All right, see you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Whoo, he's one man to get whips, all I got to say. Hey, let's jump out and take another break.
If you come up there, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that whip, as I said. So let's take another break. We'll be right back here on the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard in just a minute. Okay, I don't guess we are.
I don't think he's in
He
here.
might be out the back. He might be having his dad unload back there. We'll keep on chugging around along. 483-8112. Give us a
talk
call.
Tennessee football before we go on a break?
Yeah, we can. Well, I don't even know what time is it.
It's 11:30.
It's 11:30. Let's talk it then. Go for it. As I told you earlier, me and you missed it last week.
Yep. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than that.
I did too. I was shocked.
So did Vegas, obviously. What was Tennessee, like a pick 'em or a underdog, maybe by a point or two?
Yeah, it was depending on, you know, which story you read, but, you know, I think you wonder, you know, is that going to be a preview of what's to come? Is it going to be one of those teams that, again, you heard Coach Heupel talk about, you know, getting better every week, that's finally figuring out tempo and execution, or was that just a kind of a flash in the pan? So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, Missouri is not very good defensively, so I think coupled with the fact that UT was executed really well, you know, you watched that game and you saw how many tackles Missouri was, you know, how many they were just, that was a bad defensive team.
I won't be shocked if we don't see the same result tomorrow, maybe. I don't know about
Tennessee's a 12-point favorite.
I don't know about point-wise.
I saw they were double-figure.
When's the last time Tennessee's been a double-digit favorite in an SEC game? Maybe when Butch Jones went to Vandy?
Maybe.
and played that game where they win, they go to Sugar Bowl and they lose?
Yeah, maybe. I'm just guessing, but
I mean, I can't. How do it have to be against Vandy?
You know, one thing that I found really interesting was, you know, last year you had Coach Pruitt, who's now in the NFL, and make no mistake, you can like him or hate him. His track record has been really good defensively. I mean, he has had some really good defensive teams, coached some great players, and ran some really, really good schemes. But you hear guys talk now, and you just talk about how faster they're playing, how much easier it is to comprehend. And again, when you're thinking, you're trying to process, thinking it slows you down. It does. With Jonathan and I have talked about it so many times, when you're making guys think a lot and process, they can't fly around. So you want guys to play fast, and so obviously they got a scheme defensively that allows them to play faster. That's a little bit more easier to understand. So it's kind of, you wonder, was the scheme so complex? Because they were all the time watching alignments, watching coverages. They're looking around. You know, they were looking around, confused. There's not as much confusion this year.
Well, you've heard the Tennessee players on defense talk about the system so much simpler to play than what Pruitt's was. They didn't understand the system.
Yeah.
So I think he had. I wonder if that's what's going on in Alabama with Tua, because he seems like he's really lost down there.
I've not got to watch him play.
He does to me anyway. Maybe it's me. He seems like he's lost. When the announcers are calling, I mean, actually, I think they've called him out in a couple games.
Yeah.
He looks lost.
They did. The game I watched, they called him
maybe he is lost. I don't know, or maybe he's in over his head. But Alabama recruited him originally. Well, so he was originally. That's where he was going to the last minute.
You can have a great scheme. And you can, you know, in any sport, you can have a great offense in basketball. You can run a great offense in football and defense. But if you've got something that your players can't execute and execute at a high level, then you don't have a really good scheme. So, and a lot of times you have to trim it down. You have to clean up your packages, and you know, when you've got really experienced players, just speaking from an experience standpoint, you know, you can run a lot of stuff because they know what's going on. When you inexperienced guys, you know, you're not running as much stuff because
That's true.
You need them to play fast.
Need them to play fast.
Yep.
Let's just get this call here. Good caller, you on there?
Hey, Jonathan. How y'all doing?
We're doing good. How you doing?
Good. I want to call back and see what Jonathan y'all had to say about tomorrow's game, Tennessee and South Carolina.
I'll be surprised if it's any closer than like a 31 to 14 game, 31-17. I think that's sort of where you're looking. Tennessee's and South Carolina's defense is going to be a little bit better than Missouri's was. Missouri's was just awful. Up front, Tennessee, is it fair to say last week Tennessee finally physically just dominated somebody?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and,
well, when you rush for that many yards,
I mean, it was just total
you
domination.
won the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing is I think Tennessee's got a little bit of confidence right now, playing a little bit of swagger. So maybe they'll come in and, you know, control the line of scrimmage again. But I think like 35, 21 maybe at the closest it will be. 31, 18, 14, something like that.
I'm hearing that the offense for South Carolina ain't very good this year. They might have a better defense, but I'm hearing they ain't got a very good offense.
The offensive coordinator for South Carolina was the head football coach at Tennessee Tech back in about 2016. And he was only there for a year or two and got dismissed, and now he's the offense coordinator at Temple, or came from Temple, and now is the offense coordinator at South Carolina.
Was an assistant coach at Tennessee at one point, too.
Yeah, GA.
Doesn't South Carolina have a good running back? And I can't think of his name.
Yes, he does.
They have a good running back.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean anything if you don't have a line to block for you. So I don't know. And I think the original quarterback that was supposed to start the year is back now. They're not playing with the guy that was a graduate assistant coach anymore that had some eligibility left or something like that. So I'd say Tennessee I'd say they'll hang 30 tomorrow. I don't know what South Carolina does.
They're averaging, what, like 39 a game right now?
Something like that. Scoring, 69 will help that scoring average.
Yeah. And they're still not even top 5 in the SEC in scoring points. I think they moved up to 6th. I think I want to say Alabama. At the time, it was Alabama. I don't know. I know number 1 at the time was Ole Miss and Alabama, and then they flip-flopped. Yeah.
Well, Alabama made Lane Kiffin look really bad last week.
Yeah, he took back his words, didn't he? Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah.
I think they're giving the first 5,000 people that show up Ole Miss Saturday free popcorn. I'm thinking all seriousness.
At Ole Miss?
Yeah. I'm thinking he's
probably buying 5,000.
He's able to laugh at himself, obviously, if you follow him on social media. But I think he's.
I didn't know that.
I think they're doing some free popcorn tomorrow.
Well, he stepped in it, as they say.
Oh, he's like, yeah.
He stepped in
it.
it.
Can laugh at himself.
What do you think the score will be tomorrow, caller?
I want to say 28-14 Tennessee.
Okay. All right. We got it, 28-14.
I got one more question for you. I'm thinking, I may be wrong, but I'm thinking Tennessee may only lose to Alabama and Georgia and maybe Kentucky. What do y'all think?
I'd say they will be underdogs in all 3 of those games.
Along with the Ole Miss game.
Yeah, they'll be underdog in the Ole Miss game. They could lose 4 more after tomorrow. They have to win that game tomorrow.
We'll see.
Y'all have a good night.
All right, see you. Thanks, caller. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Hi, David.
Hey.
Hey, it was 46-27.
Okay. We got it.
All
right, thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Your boy Anthony.
He don't get to call in when he wins and scores, so he's pumped.
He's pumped, ain't
So
he?
if Tennessee wins tomorrow, they beat South Alabama. Do they become bowl eligible? Or they have to have one more?
They would need one more, but you would have Vanderbilt in there.
Oh, you got Vandy. There you go.
They've got to win tomorrow, South Alabama and Vandy.
That's it, isn't it?
Well, they would have South Alabama and Vandy, and that gets you at 6.
Get you 6.
So
where's the Kentucky game at? Tennessee or Kentucky?
Up there.
It's a hard place to play.
Yeah, I remember last year how bad JG. That's when I left. Boy, it was bad.
Hard place to play.
And now, did I see this that he's running 2nd or 3rd team at Washington State now?
He was the starter.
Started at one point.
At one point, and now he's 3rd team. Yeah, 3rd string. First pass he threw at Washington State was a pick 6.
Does that surprise you?
Is that a miss on Butch Jones thinking that did he just miss him? I mean, was that?
Butch Jones should have got him Arkansas State.
Was that just? Yeah, but he's missed on him because I don't know that he's as good as what
I think a lot of people missed on him. He was a 4-star quarterback, wasn't he?
Well, he was a quarterback, and again, David, when they start with his quarterbacks, they do quarterbacks as, again, they put them into categories. Arch Manning is a drop back passer type quarterback. Now they have what they call this category called dual threat. So somehow he got into the dual threat category, and he's not a dual threat guy, and he was one of the top rated dual threat guys. But now it goes to show you too, there's so much. There's a lot of politics that go on with the rating system. Kid can be rated a 2-star or 3-star, and then all of a sudden he gets a couple big offers, and he goes to same guy, same kid, but all of a sudden he goes from a 2 to a 4 or 3 to a 5 because of a couple schools that are offered. So that's such a. Again.
I always say that.
Stars are a bunch of hogwash.
That's exactly what I
Have you
say.
all heard the story about a fake Twitter account started by students at Grace Christian Academy 2 years ago?
Yes.
They used a player's name that played at Grace, put out there he had offers from Carson Newman, and then an offer from Tennessee Tech, then an offer from Middle Tennessee, and then he got an Alabama offer. And as he was tweeting this, they moved him from a 1-star to a 2-star to a 4-star.
And he wasn't even playing.
And he wasn't even, well.
See, that's what I'm saying.
It wasn't even a real guy.
Wasn't even a real guy.
I've always said the star system
It wasn't even a real guy.
Yeah.
Our local 247 and Rivals was giving this guy stars, and he wasn't even on.
Well, you would think somebody around here would be able to check at Grace and make sure somebody's on the roster somewhere.
Hey,
we got an invisible player?
The local newspaper rated him as a guy to watch.
Yeah. So there's so much.
That's pitiful.
We're not making this.
I know you're not, but that's pitiful, though. I'm telling you.
And all these kids out here, like,
yeah, mighty.
I got a video from a young man, and how do we get our name out there? Well, just fake an offer.
Well, and it goes to show you, I think that kids today and parents think that coaches go down there, they got a sheet of paper, and they go down here and they just start looking, show me the 5 stars. I need to see who the 5 stars are. That's not the case. I mean,
John Warren said JG was a no-threat quarterback.
A no-threat quarterback.
Not a dual threat.
A no-threat.
A no-threat.
I like that. I agree with that. Hey, do these coaches, sure they watch film, don't they?
Oh, yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
They just don't go through a 5-star guy because somebody's got him rated 5-star.
Well,
they do get a look at him somewhere, don't they? Or send somebody to look at him?
The coaches don't get it. They don't care about the stars. Now, some of them do, again, with Butch Jones, and we saw that what came out, that he told somebody he would give them some inside tip if this, one player, this 4-star player they had committed, if they would bump him to a 5-star. Because, again, we saw he was all about the fluff. But, again, I don't think coaches are sitting around here looking at printout sheets of being rankings by men that have never played football. And thinking that, I got to take this guy because this recruiting service says I got to take him. I don't know that a basketball coach that I don't know of anybody that sits around here and just reads scouting services. I mean, if I got to know what I want, and if I need this kind of guy, I need to have a guy that fits my system, that has the things that I want, the intangibles that I think are important. So. Again, players, media, people, we get all wrapped up in the star system, but it's a bunch of baloney.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I've said that for many years.
It's not me, you got 5-star guys like John Warren. I mean, John former, punter there at UT. Now John's a 5-star golfer.
He said if this was Legends Night, where's Hayes?
Yeah, where is Hayes? He can take my place tonight.
We need to have you get John Warren on here along with Earl Anderson, Mo Click, and have a Tennessee reunion.
We're going to take a quick commercial break.
Yeah, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here in just a few minutes on the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard. I hear somebody running across the back. Chandler's coming.
Many of our neighbors are living in fear of becoming sick or injured because they do not have health insurance or can't afford to go to the doctor. The Free Medical Clinic is solving that problem by providing free, no-charge primary care clinics in Oak Ridge, Harriman, and Briceville for residents in Anderson, Morgan, and Roane counties. But we don't accomplish this alone. There is no way we can create a better future for our community members by ourselves. It takes all of us. We thank each of our valuable partners in helping the Free Medical Clinic end the fear of those who can't afford medical care. On behalf of our thousands of patients, thank you.
You call your agent with a simple question, only to get sent to voicemail again. We pick up the phone. Did you get this? Hello, this is Sam. How can I help you? Like I said, we pick up the phone because it's ringing. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Hello, this is Sam.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
American Outdoor Equipment has a great new location in Rockwood. They are a Branson tractor dealer with various sizes to choose from. Branson's greatest asset is their strength, quality, and features. But American Outdoor Equipment also has Bobcat mowers. You can expect the best when it comes to performance, durability, and comfort with a Bobcat mower. Or how about a Dixie chopper mower? They're the world's fastest lawn mowers. They have a large service and parts department. They are family owned and operated, plus they offer in-house financing. That's American Outdoor Equipment in Rockwood.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores, and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies' boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Welcome back to the free medical clinic Friday Night Scoreboard. We're glad they're sponsors. Folks don't live in fear. There's insurance out here. They can help you. They can take care of you. So don't put your medical problems off. Go see them. FMCOR.org. Check them out. Oak Ridge, Harriman, and Bronson. So guys, we're rolling high school football quickly. The season's rolling down here. So what's big? I assume big next week. I'm just going to go for this area right here. It's going to be Oak Ridge and Carnes Thursday night. That's a big game for Oak Ridge.
And then Oak Ridge, Campbell County.
And Oak Ridge, Campbell County coming on up. And then, so I know Clinton's off next week. I think Harrison County's off next week. So big games coming for Clinton in a couple of weeks will be Gibbs, and then Carnes, I think, is the finale. So some big ball games coming down the pike there. Yeah. Joe, you said that Carnes and Clinton might tie, and it'll take somebody with more intelligence.
We need a cheat sheet to figure it out. There's literally about 8 tiebreakers.
Does Earl Long still do anything with TSSAA?
No.
He doesn't do anything anymore?
No. Earl had probably maybe 10 years or so. But here's the thing that, and I say that nothing that I'm involved with. He may do some stuff behind the scenes, but now there's Bradley Lambert, Auburn Springs boy. Bradley's the guru down there, and Bradley's, he's smart. But here's what you look at. We talk about Oak Ridge. So you think about, right now Oak Ridge is in second. They've got that Carnes game. So Oak Ridge could conceivably, they could go from a second to a 4 seed. Which is a big deal right there.
Big deal. Oh yeah.
So gonna be interesting. But now again, you got a guy at the helm named Joe Gaddis, and this is not his first rodeo. I just think Coach Gaddis.
Let me roll back just a minute. If Carnes was to get Oak Ridge, what does that and they knocked Oak Ridge down to a 4 spot, and Campbell County got in. That knocks Clinton completely out then for sure. That scenario.
One thing that it would do is if it would probably give Carnes, if Oak Ridge was a higher seed, it would give Carnes a tiebreaker because that's one of the tiebreakers record versus higher seeded teams. That would help. Again, I haven't looked at all that stuff.
But if Carnes and Campbell both beat them.
If Carnes and Campbell County,
Oak Ridge goes to a 4.
Yeah, Oak Ridge goes to a 4.
Yeah.
Well, by saying that, Carnes
Campbell County 3, Carnes 2.
Carnes would have to beat Clinton. So.
Yeah, and then you go back into what does Carnes do with Clinton? Again, that Campbell County loss was not a good loss for Clinton from a region standpoint. That would have really put them in the driver's seat in a good position. So it's going to be interesting. Again, everybody around here, it's gloom and doom in Oak Ridge. They're 2-5, but again, you got Coach Gaddis who's been here before, and
TSSAA makes a move this year, Jody, and they moved the state from Cookeville to Chattanooga.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's a good move, possibly. Is it, or you don't know yet?
Yeah.
So leery of it, or?
All right. So one of the concerns I had, and I expressed this concern, was the turf in Cookeville was old. I mean, it was it had been there. If that was at your house, your wife had been on you about 5 years ago to have your carpet replaced. It was in bad shape, and you especially noticed it when it rained. It got a little slick. So when we had our meeting and the cities came before us, and the main cities that had the bid proposals were Cookeville and Chattanooga. And one of the questions that I asked Mark Wilson, Mark's a good guy, but at the AD at Cookeville, was what's the time frame on the turf being replaced in Cookeville, and they couldn't give us a timetable. Now, that being said, so the big issue was we were sitting there. It was the video board in Cookeville and how our contract reads. So Cookeville put up a video board in the middle of our contract, okay? And I don't want to get too technical here, but I'm giving you the layman's terms of it here. So they put up a video board, and they were able to run their ads. We ran some of our stuff. But now the way the contract reads and the way Cookeville wrote their bid, when it came down to it, our attorney told us legally we could not accept Cookeville's bid because we would be violating the MOA of our agreement with our sponsors, which, and we have presenting sponsors and all that stuff right there, and they put language into contracts that are probably far above all of our heads on how this is supposed to read, and Cookeville did not agree to that. They just basically said, we're going to do what we've done in the past. Well, we were able to do what we did in the past because they put up a video board in the middle of our contract. So we didn't have to amend the contract. But the way their proposal was written, we would have been in violation of all of our contracts that we had with our sponsors. Now, that being said, here's the difference that people are going to see. Cookeville is a college stadium that you drive to. It's surrounded by, it's in the middle of a college campus. It's surrounded by dormitories and all those things right there. Chattanooga is a downtown stadium. There's no way at Cookeville you could park and you drive back to your hotel, you drive back to eat, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Chattanooga is a downtown stadium, so fans will be able to park and literally park there the whole time. They can park and they can check in their hotel. They can park and walk 2 blocks to the stadium. They can park and walk a block to eat. So much more different as far as the setting. Chattanooga, Finley Stadium, much newer, renovated, much nicer. I'll have to say Cookeville did a fantastic job with it. They went just above and beyond on their hospitality. And I tell you, I think it was even getting hard for Cookeville to get the number of volunteers. I mean, it would take 800-900 volunteers to do what Cookeville did. Wow. And you keep doing that, 10, 12 years, that's hard to pull off.
No kidding.
So, so time will tell. So I'm anxious to see what Chattanooga brings. They'll have to bring a lot to the table to match the hospitality that Cookeville gave to the teams and the fans, and made the experience really, really special. So we'll see, but it's going to be a much different viewing experience for the fans than Cookeville.
Just from what you said, it sounds a little bit more fan friendly. I mean, being able to park, walk, eat, stuff
It is.
like that.
Well,
I mean, if you
yeah,
wanna-
it is.
Yeah,
You can just walk out and go down the street and walk to a burger or Shake Shack.
That's what I'm saying. If you,
yeah,
it sounds a whole lot more fan friendly.
Yes,
so
much
more
easier.
fan friendly.
And you could, when it was in Nashville, I can remember going with the Freemans and the Chavels. You just go Holiday Inn, get out, walk
Oh, yeah.
to the game.
Walk right to the game.
It's the same way down there. You
Walk
just
across the street to
go
Houston's
Weston.
after the ball game.
Yeah. I mean, go to the Weston, walk over to watch football.
Yeah.
So Cookeville made up for a lot of they had an old stadium, no elevators. I remember the press people would complain, there's no elevators, press box, buddy. When you're going back up there, you get your steps in.
Sounds like they're scared.
But
steps.
They made up for a lot of deficiencies by just by
wanting you there.
I mean, they were ones that initiated the troopers meeting you at the interstate and escorting you to the stadium. They made it a big deal. They had limited locker room space. They made it work, but
yeah, their locker rooms down there are not much.
Did they get new turf?
And I think they put new turf in shortly after that meeting. I think they put new turf in last spring.
Well, it's cost them a bunch. It's cost them money for the city, so I'm sure maybe the city might have helped. Maybe that'll be back in the bid next time.
I think they put
I think you think about it. The financial footprint. I think the financial footprint of the spring fling is by far the biggest financial footprint that Tittlesville has. Basketball is second, but now football has a pretty big financial footprint because people come in. Some people spend the night, but everybody eats. They buy gas. It does have a big financial
people
footprint.
do football like they do the basketball tournament. Do they come and stay for the whole weekend and do the whole weekend, or they just come and do their team and go home? Or do
Not as many do that for football as do for basketball. Number one, it's outside.
Right.
It's all about the weather.
It's all about the weather.
Yeah.
And sometimes in Cookeville, buddy, it's down there.
Misty.
But now, here's the thing, and I would be down there.
Down there too bad.
So you go that on Saturday, you go that that 2A game would be first, and if it's a beautiful day, I like to hang outside, and then you got that 4A game, which would be the second game. And then by Central's time, by the halftime of that game, it's getting dark, which means it's getting cold. And then a lot of times, by the time that 6A game started, it's bone-chilling cold. Plus, you have sometimes an hour in between games. So that's the thing about the people that just come down there in basketball. That next game's 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. In football, due to TV and the way it's structured, there's sometimes an hour. So I don't think you see near. Now, you have coaches that do that. There'll be coaches that'll go down, but now they'll go down to the coaches' tent in between games and shoot the breeze and drink hot chocolate and watch the SEC championship game on the TV down there, or the Big 12 championship game. But I don't think, fans, have you been down to basketball, they'll come for the whole week, but they're there Wednesday through Saturday.
Yeah, they are.
In the same seat for 20, 30 years.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Yeah,
Good to see
Same
you.
guys.
Yeah.
I know we talked football. I want to ask you about this. What do you think about all the change in basketball this year, going to the extra classification? I think I know what your opinion of it is, but do you think it's going to work?
It's going to be interesting to see. Just from any time you add a classification, you increase travel. Okay, and your districts go. For instance, you look at Clinton. Clinton went from a 8, I don't know how many teams are in there, 8, 9 team district to 4. I mean, so your districts become really small, and your districts.
And he's going where? Where's Clinton going?
Clinton's 3A.
Yeah, they'll go to Scott County.
Scott, Anderson County, and Halls, and I think that's it.
So
Who are you with?
Carter.
No, Carter's the other one.
What
So it's
district?
Fulton. We're in District 5, which is Fulton, Austin East, South Doyle, Lenoir City, Sequoia. But the big thing for us is is come region tournament time, instead of us, playing somebody right here, we go all the way to Chattanooga. So now the other thing too is the Board of Control. We tabled it in our November and our August meeting, but we'll come up in November. Last year we satellited tournaments out due to COVID, and so we talked about that. I think the big thing right there that coaches are having problems with, and I didn't like it, was the officiating, having local officials. I wasn't a fan of it. Come region tournament time, I would like to have neutral officials. I think every coach is like that. That becomes problematic when you're satelliting and not doing a central site. So,
you said you had to go to Chattanooga. Is that a school site down there, or is that just a?
Well, that's the region. So
that's the region.
That's the region. Soddy Daisy, Hickson, East Hamilton. I'd have to look and see.
Man, you're gonna have to travel some.
Yeah. So I'm not
taking the short bus on them trips.
Yeah, it was a short bus ride.
So think about the travel.
I'll say this much about going to North City. I don't know if it's the same. I was going to call out a nickname, but I'm not going to say it. So I'm afraid he might be watching. Man, I can say it. I don't care about anything now. Doughboy's place used to be. Hey, he did have a good concession stand down there.
They did.
It's a great concession stand. I get him for that, man. Yeah. So I'll leave him for that.
But think about Clinton, where they used to travel, and now they're going to Scott County.
Well, Clinton was Halls, Oak Ridge, Carnes, Central, Campbell County, people like that. So Harrison County.
So and
they didn't go on long bus rides. They probably didn't even take buses.
Well, and what you'll see, David, is across the state is more travel. You had basketball, the Basketball Coaches Association in Tennessee. They were really pushing hard for 6. Because Alabama's got 9, and we need 6.
Been watered down, wasn't it?
Well, it would have. What you would have had was you would have had no districts. You would have gone straight to regions, but you would have had regions that literally went from Johnson City to Knoxville. Now, can you imagine doing that for not only basketball, but that would have been baseball and softball too? And people in West Tennessee, they argued all the time when I just said you've lost your ever-loving mind. And their argument, well, that's how we drive that far in West Tennessee all the time. I said, we don't, not in East Tennessee. There's some districts that have, that have some good travel, but historically, no. I mean, that would have been, I said, it would have been overturned. I just think it would have been chaos. But so I'm anxious to see how 4. I'll be honest with you. I saw kind of where the winds of change were blowing. I'm a traditionalist. I thought we had it pretty good with 3. I'll be honest with you. I like 3. And
I knew you did. So.
But now I certainly see the change, and the people that were proponents of change were generally in any classification. Those were those teams that were on the cusp. Those were those really small 2A teams or really small 3A teams. And again, that were maybe having hard times competing or whatever, and so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be certainly a big change. State tournament adds another day, and this is something that people hadn't thought about. From a standpoint of you've been down there state tournament. You try to go down a day early. You try to play a day early and get down there before you play. So now the state tournament's going to be start on Tuesday.
Oh, instead of Wednesday?
Yeah, because you got another classification there.
Yeah.
You got to hold.
So if you play Tuesday and you win.
Yeah. So now you play on semifinals on Friday. What do you do?
There.
Come back home.
I mean, you come back home and then go right back. Again, somebody asked me that question. So a lot of it can be literally, if I had an early game Tuesday, I mean, I can't imagine. We're coming home.
Spend the night Monday night. Play Tuesday morning.
I'd come back home.
Well, financially, you'll almost have to, won't you?
Well, yeah.
But now, financially, it's a financial burden.
But now, if you have a late game Tuesday night, you're not going to load them up on a bus at 9:30, which is 10:30 your time, and roll in, to Knoxville at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then expect them to be at school on Wednesday, and then have to go back down on Thursday. So it really creates a lot of I'll be honest with you, and again, it gives a bigger advantage to your Middle Tennessee teams. It's going to be a big disadvantage for West and East because they're having to manage these games that they didn't have to manage before.
Well, it don't make no sense if you play late Tuesday to stay Wednesday, to come home on Wednesday and then have to go back. I mean, that don't make no sense.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, it was sometimes it was good, and we've been down there. And you play on Wednesday, and you had that day Thursday to catch your breath, to watch film. get your legs, and then you played those semifinal games on Friday. And then, of course, we've been down there. We played Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But, that Tuesday, Friday, Saturday is a whole nother. To me, it just gives.
Whoever you play on Saturday night in AA, most of the time had played 3 straight days if you got a day off.
Yeah.
Well, I think it takes a little bit away from the kids a little bit. I mean, the experience of getting to go down and stay, a couple nights.
Well,
I think it's sort of, you've had a good season. Now there's a lot of decisions that.
Oh, it's
not their decision, but it's a financial decision too. I understand that, but
I can remember when we played our first state championship game. You might have been. I think you were there in 1996. We were playing Martin Luther King.
Remember that?
And I just felt like we were. And maybe again they probably had a young coach that didn't know what the heck he was doing then. But I just felt like we were tired. And I look back, we'd been there since we played on Wednesday. We played McNary on Wednesday, and then we were off on Thursday. We played David Lipscomb on Friday. So we'd been there since Tuesday. And we're playing Martin Luther King. They slept at home all week. They slept in their own beds. We've been in a motel since Tuesday. And I felt like, that played a big part of it. Now, other times, we got down there, and I think, to be honest with you, that's the last Nashville team that we've lost to since. We hadn't lost to Nashville yet. So I don't know. It just.
But that's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We've enjoyed your calls tonight. Coach Rock, enjoyed you being here with us tonight. Come anytime you want to. Make Cox bring you more often. I appreciate you coming tonight and helping us out. Game of the week. It's what? Kingston Signal Mountain. Is that right? Yeah. Kingston Signal Mountain.
Check out that score.
Had to get it there.
74-67.
Who won that?
Sale Creek 74, Mount Juliet Christian 67.
Wow, that's a big score. But catch us next Friday night right here on the Free Medical Clinic Friday Night Scoreboard. We'll see you next Friday night right here after the game of the week, Signal Mountain and Kingston. Catch that game at, I think it starts at 7 o'clock pregame, and we'll see you back here next Friday night. See you, folks.
Many of our neighbors are living in fear of becoming sick or injured because they do not have health insurance or can't afford to go to the doctor. The Free Medical Clinic is solving that problem by providing free, no-charge primary care clinics in Oak Ridge, Harriman, and Briceville for residents in Anderson, Morgan, and Roane counties. But we don't accomplish this alone. There's no way we can create a better future for our community members by ourselves. It takes all of us. We thank each of our valuable partners in helping the Free Medical Clinic end the fear of those who can't afford medical care. On behalf of our thousands of patients, thank you.
American Outdoor Equipment has a great new location in Rockwood. They are a Branson tractor dealer with various sizes to choose from. Branson's greatest asset is their strength, quality, and features. But American Outdoor Equipment also has Bobcat mowers. You can expect the best when it comes to performance, durability, and comfort with a Bobcat mower. Or how about a Dixie chopper mower? They're the world's fastest lawn mowers. They have a large service and parts department. They are family owned and operated, plus they offer in-house financing. That's American Outdoor Equipment in Rockwood.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Your grandmother's fine china, those trendy sneakers, your collection of hand-carved duck decoys. Auto Owners protects your home. Because, well, somebody should. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Oh, now you do your job.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I can get Barry to send us a hamburger too. You know, listen, he gave me a half a hamburger once at Oliver Springs, and that nickname is those guys down Oliver Springs called me. I run into the guy at Food City. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he called me half a hamburger. Now that's how Barry does people. That's not right. It's just not right.
Before I get off here, you're talking about a place I used to work. It's Food City.
I used to work at Food City?
Yes, sir.
Heard that. Like I said, I seen the guy that called me half a hamburger. He knows that's what Barry gave me down Oliver Springs once. I wouldn't eat it. I just went and got me a whole one down. I just walked down to the concession stand and got it myself. So that's the way me and Brad, he never would feed us. He'd talk about it, but he wouldn't feed us. So, you know, anyway.
I don't know about it.
I heard that, buddy. Well, call us back.
All right.
All right, see you, man. All right, see you. All right, see you.
Bye.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. I believe you said Anderson County won 19-6, correct?
Yep.
All right, thank you. All right, thanks, man. Calls every week, gives me the AC score. Appreciate it much, young man. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Winter?
Not a lot, man. What are you doing?
Not a whole lot, man. The guy just called in asking if Rockwood was off or if they had a game and they didn't play. What it was, Rockwood had to do some rescheduling right after the schedules come out because a team couldn't play or whatever. So Rockwood ended up actually being off tonight. And to answer his question about if Oneida is ahead of them in the region, even though that Rockwood beat them, is if you look at Oneida's schedule, Oneida is 5-2 right now.
Uh-huh.
And their only loss, they've only got one region loss, and that's the Rockwood. The other loss come to that team out of Kentucky or whatever. And so they've got more region wins than Rockwood does right now.
Okay.
So they are ahead in the regions. If Rockwood plays out like they played the past couple of weeks, Rockwood will jump ahead of them, and Rockwood will finish second because I don't see anybody beating Monterey this year. Monterey, they're tough.
So Monterey's the real deal, hey?
Monterey's pretty tough. I don't know what happened to Rockwood that night they played them, but the team that Rockwood's been playing with past couple of weeks is different.
Okay.
They find in their stride. They're going typical John Webb Rockwood team. They're finally getting in their stride, and they're playing ball.
Well, that's what I would expect from what I've known about Coach Webb over the last 10 or 12 years. That's, you know, he traditionally has a pretty good football team, and he takes care of business.
He does, and Rockwood will be fine. I think Rockwood will end up finishing second in the region, and hopefully they make a deep run in the playoffs again. In the past 10 years, we made the semifinals twice. Have been close to making to the state championship. So,
well, let me say this: don't count Rockwood out and Coach Webb, because good football coach, really good football coach. I have a lot of respect for him.
We are the Anderson County High School cheerleaders here at ORUD getting ready for the big game. The best.
M-A-V-E-R-I-C-K-S. The best. M-A-V-E-R-I-C-K-S. The best. M-A-V-E-R-I-C-K-S. The best. Let's go.
Host your friends in style and be the envy of your neighborhood when entertaining this football season with natural gas appliances purchased from ORUD at 0% interest.
Want to cozy up next to a natural gas fireplace after a chilly night at the field? Let ORUD help you with the play-by-play to truly make your house feel like home.
Adding a natural gas grill to your home means that you'll never have to run to the store before kickoff to fill up that propane tank again. Make the switch today.
You can make the game-winning play by switching to natural gas this football season. ORUD is your affordable energy choice.
method of predicting outcomes with the transitive property, Coalfield is a common opponent, and one would believe that would favor Midway, as both teams lost to the Yellow Jackets, but Midway by just 7 last week and Harriman by 44 earlier in the season. However, that will probably tell you about as much as Brad Jones's astrological sign predicting this one. Brad's a Virgo, in case you didn't know. And if you're wondering, his horoscope reads for the following today: know what you're getting yourself into. You may be like a fly on a tree branch, carefully inspecting the beautiful spider web at your feet. You're tempted to step on the silky strands, yet once you place one foot on the sticky web, you'll be tangled there for a long time, maybe forever. Do you get it yet? Yeah, us neither. Throw out the records. Throw out what you know about the Coalfield game. This one's going to be a good one on your OEB Law Game of the Week. Day or night, 24/7, someone will be there to answer and give you a free consultation and get to work on your case immediately. Call 865-546-1111 or visit the website full of helpful information, reckontoacheck.com. That's OEB Law. I'm Aaron Harvey, and my favorite colleague beside me, Coach James Hoot Gibson. We've been able to see both of these teams this season. Are you like me in thinking these two teams have similar styles, which could potentially make this a very fun game?
Oh, yeah, we could have a shootout tonight. With as much talent that's on the field between these two teams, it could be a big game.
The toughest opponent on the schedule is likely already done for these programs. This game feels so important in determining what the future could look like. Do you think the coaches and players are thinking about that?
Oh, yeah, I know both of these squads want to get the win so they can be in a better position for a potential playoff run. You know, I'm expecting a lot of highlights tonight.
Well, we've got a lot we got to get into, as there are some very important games going on around the area. And, of course, we'll tell you what you need to know for this one a little later as well on our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
With one small step, you have the potential to make a big difference in this world. It starts here at Roane State Community College. There's never been a greater need for health science graduates, and Roane State has the program to get you there. With 11 different health science degrees and 7 certificates offered, the choice is yours. Roane State, healthcare heroes start here. Apply now at roanestate.edu.
Patterson's Appliances has been helping families like yours find quality home appliances from trusted brands including Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid for over 55 years. Our knowledgeable appliance specialists know how to outfit your kitchen or laundry room with the right appliances to meet your needs. We service what we sell with our own in-house factory-trained service technicians, and for the DIYers, our parts department is always ready to help customers find the appliance parts they need. Patterson's Home Appliances, because we care.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
19. And welcome back into the OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by Coach James Hoot Gibson. You see on the field, it is senior night here at Midway, and this seems to happen once you get into the late season where we get to watch, like, every week different teams celebrating senior night. And you've been there, I've been there before. Special moment knowing that you're walking into your field of play for the last time in front of your home fans. And so we know just by seeing that this is senior night that there's a little bit of extra emotion on the line tonight for Midway.
Exactly right. This is a special time for all these individuals out here on this field. It'll be the last time they play high school football here on this field for the rest of their lives, and it'll be something that they remember the rest of their lives. And you see here something unique to Midway is they do a little bit different. They don't just do the cheerleaders and football program. I think they do all sports, which is really cool.
How about that? So it is possible as well, too, that maybe Midway could get a home game. And so for the playoffs, so they might be able to come back here. But regular season, this is it. This is their last regular season game. And so senior night. Moving on, we mentioned before how both of our teams for tonight's game have played Coalfield, and the Yellow Jackets took care of business both times. Well, now comes the big one that everyone looks forward to every year. Greenback will be at Harlan-Wall Stadium tonight. You might remember that the regular season game had to be canceled for COVID last season, but the playoffs gave us a chance to see these two teams meet, with the Yellow Jackets escaping with a 27-21 victory in round 2. Coalfield has such a winning tradition that you'll probably be hard-pressed to find many schools with a winning record against the little town in Morgan County. That is, besides the Cherokees. They're 31-14-1 all-time against Coalfield. Coalfield's playoff win last season actually snapped a 10-game losing streak. Since 2010, Coalfield and Greenback have met in the playoffs 9 times, which is every year except 2015 and 2011. Coalfield won the first 4, Greenback won the next 4, and Coalfield won the last one just 1 year ago. I don't want to talk about this one too much, but I will mention one last thing. The head coaches at both schools are leading their respective teams into this rivalry for the first time ever. Coalfield's Benson Napier and Greenback's Ethan Edmonston are bringing this old rivalry into a new era. It should be a good one down at your Papaw's first coaching spot.
Yeah, it is. It's a special place. And, I can't guarantee many things, but I can guarantee this. This will be an absolute slobber knocker of a game. Traditional single A high school football powers with too many similarities to name between the communities. Both have a lot of tradition that pushes that little single A community to the forefront. I'm keeping my eyes on that score.
Yeah, and both places are a great place to watch a football game as well. The whole community comes out in both of those places, and so it's always fun when these two teams meet because they bring the community to the opposing school wherever that away game is.
And that was going to drag in people from other communities as well to see that slobber knocker, so it's going to be a fun one.
Things haven't been going exactly well for Oak Ridge. The Wildcats were blown off Blankenship Field last week by Powell, 38-7. This week is a road trip to undefeated Greenville, and Coach Gaddis will go into that game with a new offensive coordinator as Rodney Ellison has been replaced by Chad Hodge. Not really the best week to begin a new offensive system, but it does give you a test run before the region schedule continues next week.
It will be a difficult test to break in a new offensive coordinator against a great defensive team like Greenville. So this one, I expect that it's going to get kind of ugly.
It very well could. And that's interesting, because Greenville is that 4A team, and Oak Ridge is that 5A team that played for a state championship last year. But that was last year.
They say size don't matter, and it's going to show tonight as Greenville's going to probably embarrass the Wildcats of Oak Ridge.
Well, speaking of Powell, the Panthers are on the road to take on Campbell County. The Cougars are 6-1, which is really impressive considering that they're coming off a 4-6 2020 campaign and haven't won this many games since 2017. But Matt Lowe's squad, led by Jordan Potts on offense and Walter Nolan on defense, is quite the task.
Yeah, that's a big task indeed. But if Powell isn't mentally on their top, a team like Campbell County could sneak up and upset them. And we all know Powell is one of the most talented teams in East Tennessee, but keep an eye on that game because the Price brothers over in Campbell County, they know how to draw up some pretty tight schemes on that offensive passing game. So let's see what happens.
And, of course, we'll try to bring you some scores throughout the broadcast as we get them sent in to us. whenever we can squeeze those things in there. So we'll keep an eye on that score and see how Campbell County can do against Powell. So we got some more games to talk about around the area. We'll do that as well as talk about this matchup tonight as Harriman is at Midway to take on the Green Wave. You're tuned in to the OEB Law Game of the Week.
'52. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores, and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies' boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. They offer mulch, topsoil, all types of gravel, sand, rock, crab orchard stone, riprap stone, and limestone gravel. Mulch & More does light excavation work. Do you need a driveway repaired? They can do it. Plus, Mulch & More can do your water and sewer lines, French drains, and more with Ditch Witch services. So whether you only need a half cubic yard up to 20 cubic yards, Mulch & More can help you. Give Gary a call today at 865-234-7060 at Mulch & More in Midtown.
American Outdoor Equipment has a great new location in Rockwood. They are a Branson tractor dealer with various sizes to choose from. Branson's greatest asset is their strength, quality, and features. But American Outdoor Equipment also has Bobcat mowers. You can expect the best when it comes to performance, durability, and comfort with a Bobcat mower. Or how about a Dixie Chopper mower? They're the world's fastest lawn mowers. They have a large service and parts department. They are family owned and operated, plus they offer in-house financing. That's American Outdoor Equipment in Rockwood.
You call your agent with a simple question, only to get sent to voicemail again. We pick up the phone. Did you get this? Hello, this is Sam. How can I help you? Like I said, we pick up the phone because it's ringing. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Hello, this is Sam.
Energize your home with natural gas from ORUD, your affordable energy choice. See all the ways natural gas can improve your home by visiting one of the ORUD showrooms in Oak Ridge or Kingston. New gas appliances run more efficiently. They provide hot water when you need it, precise heat control for cooking, and can dry clothes in about half the time. Comfort you can feel. Savings you can use. ORUD Natural Gas.
Welcome back into the OEB Law Game of the Week. Aaron Harvey, joined by Coach James Hoot Gibson. And this is the OEB Law Game of the Week, of course, taking place south of the river here in Midway. Harriman is in town. Should be an absolutely great game that we're excited about. Talking about some other things going on. You know, last night South Doyle hosted Central in the Rivalry Thursday game. It was Central getting the win against its former 5A foe, 35-23. Sure, South Doyle probably wanted to win the game, but no harm, no foul, as this game didn't matter for much, and the Cherokees are still probably going to get a home game for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you, South Doyle has been a fun team to watch so far this year.
Yeah, with Sean Gary just exploding. You see some other scores from last night. As East Hamilton also defeated Saudi Daisy, and Chattanooga Central shut out Sequoia. Interesting, those are the same scores. So, I tell you what, Anderson County solidly in the driver's seat in Region 2 4A. But a freshman quarterback is behind center as the Mavericks go to Gibbs. With Walker Martinez, AC would probably be picked to win huge. He's out, though. You still taking the Mavs, though?
What unfortunate luck for Anderson County. You know, they've had a tough early year this year, but I think they get the win tonight.
And, of course, that is a region game, so that would further solidify their spot as a region champion. In fact, if they get that win against Gibbs tonight, they are the regular season region champion and guaranteed that home game for the playoffs. So let's look at some other games going on in the viewing area tonight. You got Powell at Campbell County, which we talked about. Greenback at Coalfield, of course, that we talked about. Wartburg goes to Jellicoe. I think Jellicoe was supposed to play Oakdale, and that game couldn't happen because, of COVID. So Wartburg is going to take on Jellicoe. Clinton is at Lenoir City. Harriman, of course, that's where we are for the Harriman Midway game. Oliver Springs goes to Sunbright. And Rockwood was supposed to be at Pickett County, but they're off, and then Kingston is off. So, yeah, Oakdale wins COVID game, so Oakdale's not playing. I tell you what, let's look also at our region standings as we are deep into the season now. Start with Region 2 in Class A. It is Coalfield undefeated in that region, 4 wins to no losses. Greenback also undefeated in that region.
It's a big game tonight.
And so, yeah, that will whoever wins that game will be leading in that region. So that's a pretty big deal. Then you've got, as we mentioned, Harriman, Oakdale, Midway, all straggling